Gonzalez. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
All right, all right. Just wanted to hop on with you. I know this is your final year at Bowling Green. It seems like you've been there for quite a while.
Yeah, I've been here since 2017. So 5 years later, we're still here.
There you go. There you go. So just first thing I wanted to ask you is I know this is your fifth and final year there at Bowling Green. I know you've been through it all.
Yep.
I read a stat this past week that out of 200, I believe, and 12 games possible that you could have played in, you played in 211, I believe.
Yeah, I think it was 210 out of 211 or 211 out of 212. I can't remember, but it was actually sick one of the games, so I couldn't play in it. I physically could not be on the field, but if I could, I would. Obviously. So
I mean, and then so that would be my first question. Just what do you think it was about you being so consistent over the last 5 years that you're able basically to start and play in basically 212 games over the last 5 years?
I mean, one of the main things is just trying to keep positive energy for my team, and on top of that, having like a solid defense behind me. Um, but just obviously staying consistent defensively, offensively, trying to do something at the plate, and just being as consistent as possible has allowed me to stay in the lineup as much as I have been, and just being an asset that is hard to take out. I mean, my dad and I always talk about like be that person that like it's hard to not play. So I just try to do that as much as possible and be a positive light for all my team, my coach, my pitchers, our pitcher Payne Gotchel, all of our other pitching staff. Just doing that and just doing the little things too is all I really focus on and making those games possible.
Great. And what's just this whole journey been like for you? The last 5 years. Obviously you graduated from Kinsburg in 2017. Started your journey at Bowling Green in 2008. You played the first 2 years there. COVID hit in 2020.
Yeah.
Obviously, the world shut down. So
Mhm.
what's this whole journey been like for you? The last 5 years.
I mean, I have no idea what I was getting myself into. I had a thought of what I was going to get into, but I mean, just coming to D1, it's a whole different beast in itself, and staying on top of grades, academically, athletically, keeping myself healthy. It's just been a whirlwind. And then COVID hitting we were on a really good run. We had a high of, win streaks, and COVID hit. So we just had to like try a whole different process. But other than that, I mean, this year has truly been the best year. And I couldn't be more thankful for that, just because it's my fifth and final year. And I feel like all the pieces are finally coming together after 5 years. So, but yeah, it's just been a whirlwind of emotions, physical, emotional. So, yeah.
What was the biggest adjustment you had to make at first? Coming from high school to the D1 level.
Yeah. I mean, I have been really hard on myself, just staying like in the gym and like healthy, eating like the right things. So it wasn't a big adjustment for me in that aspect, but it was more of a mental grind that I consistently had to do, because when we're out here, everyone's competing for a spot and everyone really wants to just be that person on the field. So mentally, physically, emotionally, just staying up to par and staying consistent, like I keep saying. But truly, that is the number one thing that I had to adapt to and like stay with from high school to now. So, but a lot of the mental was something that I wasn't prepared for, and I had to adjust and make the most of it. So,
your sister Marissa is at South Carolina. She's a freshman for the Gamecock softball team.
Mm-hmm.
I know your older sister Jessica played at Dixie State.
Yep.
I've known your family for a little bit now, but just what was the biggest, I guess, advice that Jessica gave you, being older, and then what's the advice that you gave Marissa? That I guess helping her now at South Carolina.
Yeah. Well, when my sister went to college, she was obviously the first one to play sports. And when I was a senior, she would always just tell me, like, just play the game. You're going to hit highs, you're going to hit lows. There's going to be times where you want to quit, and there's going to be times where you feel like you're on top of the world, but always just keep on grinding and make the most of every single bit of your experience, because I feel like I did the most of that. But the advice I'd give to my sister is literally the same thing, because I'm at my fifth and final year. I've got about a month left, and man, I would love to just keep playing, and relive it all and do it all over again. So just cherish every moment, and just make the most of what you can with every possibility. So
You kind of mentioned that you got 1 month left, basically, in
great.
softball season. Hopefully you guys, go a long way in playoffs and
Mhm.
postseason. But have you kind of, I guess, started coming to grips that you do only have a month left of college softball?
Yeah, I mean, I try not to think about it because it's really emotional. I've been playing the sport since I was like 5 or 6 years old. So just thinking of, okay, well, I only have like 10 more games left, or I only have like 12 more games left. I'm thinking positively. So we're going to keep winning out. We're going to keep winning and winning until we can't. But the reality is you've got about like a month left, worst case scenario. And it's just, I'm trying not to think about it, but at the same time, like it's inevitable. So I don't know. It tugs a little bit, especially this past senior weekend. My dad and my family were all out here, and having him there, and my mom and dad, and just giving him hugs and realizing that it's actually here is it's insane. And I'm just trying to cherish as much as I can while I can.
I always ask the athletes, coming out of Kingsburg, it's a small community, but softball there, have produced so many Division I talent, or just talent that goes on to play. Being part of that lineage, of female athletes who have gone on to the Division I level to play softball, or just any sport. I mean, what's that mean to you to just be representing Kingsburg, at this high level?
I mean, it's really special to me. Everybody asks, like, where are you from? And I'm like, I'm from Kingsburg. And they're like, where's Kingsburg? I'm like, look it up. It's a small town, but man, do we produce athletes. So I think it's really special just being that small percentage to just represent Kingsburg as best as I can and do the best I can in my sport, not only for like my town, but also for like little kids who are playing softball who I gave signatures to when I was a senior in high school, all those little small things, or the girls who are in Ohio right now who are trying to find out where Kingsburg, California is because they've never heard of it. So it's just really cool. And I'm really like lucky to be able to represent Kingsburg in Ohio.
Like I said, we had talked that you got a month left in your college career. What do you think
Mhm.
you're gonna miss most about the game, or just miss most about being a college athlete?
I'm gonna really miss my friends, and making like those really good moments or those really bang bang plays, or my pitcher striking somebody out for like a third out with bases loaded. It's just those small moments of really highs, and I'm just really gonna miss hitting the ball, making really cool plays, and just being able to experience those moments with my teammates, because once it's over, and you won't be able to do that again. So, and it's just an incredible feeling that I'm cherished forever.
I don't want to just talk about lessons that you've learned, on softball on the field, but what's also maybe some of the biggest lessons you've learned off the field, just about yourself, over these last 5 years in college.
Um, I have really learned that I just have to be on top of things. I'm an education major, so being academically sound is something that I really thoroughly need to do. So I do my best to just stay in the class, study as much as possible, get good grades, because at the end of the day, softball can only get me so far. My degree, my major will get me, through into my career. So just being able to take that seriously and put my nose down and grind to get the best grades possible for my career is something that I learned, that was a valuable lesson that I learned.
Um, what is your plan, after, I guess, college, after you wind here, what is Sarah Gonzalez planning on doing?
Right now, I mean, there's a lot, but I have my Ohio licensure for teaching for special ed. So as of right now, I'm planning to go back to California and either be a sub long term until I get my California licensure, or jump right in as early as possible. I really want to work with kids in elementary setting, for moderate to intensive disabilities. So if I can get that, that'd be great. But if not, then I'll just do a sub long term until I can get to that level, working with kids in classrooms.
Great, that's great. What what advice would you give to, and you kind of already mentioned this, by talking about the lessons you learned, but what advice would you give to, student athletes who are going to be graduating here soon, and going to college as an athlete, just what advice would you give them as far as, them to prepare for themselves and just to enjoy it?
Yeah. Just do the little things, honestly, because there will be big moments, but there are little things that you need to make sure are in the right place before you can get to those big moments. For example, like getting your grades right, making sure your grades are good. If you don't have good grades, you don't play. Like very small things like that can add up to a really big moment for your career. So just making sure that all the little things are done, and emotionally making sure that your mental health is okay. That's a big thing from high school to college too, is just making sure that you're taking care of yourself as well. So just doing the small things and making sure that you have a balanced life.
And then just finally, I mean, just what legacy do you want to leave at Bowling Green? When they think of Sarah Gonzalez, what she meant to the Bowling Green Falcons softball team, what do you want them to remember about you?
I just want people to know me as, the girl who just loved the game and who gave it her all, because I mean, that's all I try to do every single game, every single opportunity, is leave my heart on the field, whether it be the last out or, 2-out rally on the field. I just want people to know that I did the best I could and I left everything out there with the most positive energy possible, because that's all you have left is just your effort and your energy and your attitude. So making sure those are all something that people remember me by is honestly all I will ever expect or hope, because I mean, records will be set, there will be things that'll be broken, somebody will be chasing those records, but I mean, I would much rather be left with somebody who was just a true, solid softball player with the big heart.
Great, great. And then one more question came to my head because you kind of mentioned the love of the game. Like you said, 1 month away, and your softball career may be over. Maybe recreationally you play it. I don't know what's next, but what was it about softball, that you loved, or what is it about softball that just got you to being able to play the last basically your whole life?
Yeah. I don't know. My family did it in rec ball because we could, and my whole family got into it, and I started taking it seriously a little bit younger than my sisters did, but just those bang bang plays, I play a hot corner, I play third base. So just being able to do really cool things that I didn't expect as a younger kid, and being able to hit the ball really far as a younger kid, it kind of just kept going there, and that's just what's kept me moving, is just being able to push my boundaries farther than what I even expected, and just constantly trying to like improve myself. It's kind of like a game for me, like how good can I get, or how much can I push myself. So that's what at least I feel like I enjoyed with the sport.
All right, well, Sarah, I appreciate the time. Good luck to you over the last month of the season here.
Well,
Hopefully you guys end with a great postseason run. But I appreciate the time.
yeah, no problem. Thank you for interviewing me, and hopefully we'll go really far, and you guys can probably check it out.